Another Let's Chill. You know, I've been seeing a lot of people as of recent, just, big celebrities with lots of money and lots of fame and popularity, just flat out mocking and defacing the face of God. And it's just kind of I don't even know how to, bad. Is that the best way I can put it? All these people like Lil Dicky, Madonna, Lil Uzi, all the big rappers, the Baby, Lil Nas X, a lot of the rappers they absolutely seem to just hate God in every aspect and possible way. Maybe it's because, that's just part of the whole thing to be part of Hollywood, is that you have to blaspheme God. You can't do it to Buddha, you can't do it to Allah, but you can definitely smear all over you want over Jesus. It's kind of strange. And I was no different back when I was an extremist atheist. Oh yeah, I was pretty bad back in the day when I was about 17 years old. And a lot of the things that they said are just about the exact same things I would have said. Because I was just so full of narcissism and pride and hatred. And gosh, I can't even believe, that's the same person that I knew that I was just 3 years ago. It really is kind of hard for me to even think about just how horrible I was. And then I was watching one of my Christian YouTubers, he's like a news podcast sort of guy, and just some people that you wouldn't really expect to just absolutely be hateful towards God. And it's just like, wow, you really think that these people are okay, and you turn around and wow, man, it was just kind of weird. I don't think, and that's the thing, a lot of people don't realize, is that there is a God, and they think the whole world is just a cosmic mistake, or they flat out don't care and they just actively hate God and everything that he stands for. And I think that kind of goes back to the whole Garden of Eden sort of situation, where you will be of God, you'll be like God, the forbidden fruit. And in a way, that's basically how everything has been. The reason why everybody does what they want to do is because they want to be their own God and want to make their own principles, their own morality, their own judgment, their own line of thinking. I'm guilty of this myself. I do it. It's like, hey, this guy uploaded a video and he's pretty cool, and even though he's got some things that I probably shouldn't be listening to, or this video game seems cool, and it has all these kind of, evil sort of things in there, or this movie it's kind of got some strange things in there, but I'll skim over it. And then, I was listening to what he had, the preacher having to say, and he was basically saying, by watching these movies, by watching these films, by listening to this music, by giving your attention to these platforms and stuff like that, you're paying these people to continue on to blaspheme God. And I never really thought of it that way. And it's always a constant fight. You never know what's going on. I don't know. It's just weird. You think you think these celebrities are so cool and whatnot, and then turn around the next thing, they're touching kids or beating their wives and looking like Badger from Breaking Bad. It's just that we think that we're so good nowadays. We think we're so above our primitive ancestors, but we're not. We're actually much, much worse than our ancestors. We're completely selfish. We're a completely selfish generation where we only care about the self and only care about what we want, rather than there's a homeless person on the street that can't even have his next meal, but here I am stuffing my face. And the thing is, mocking God, it's not going to get you far. You can rise above and have the entire world to yourself, but in the end, you know what happens to us all? We all fade to dust. From dust we were made, from dust we shall return. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've done. It doesn't matter if you're Napoleon Bonaparte, whether you're Alexander the Great, whether you're Muhammad Ali, whether you're Jerry Lee Lewis. It doesn't matter who you are. You're gonna die. And here's just a little bit of something to tell you, to kind of give you a little bit of a warning. I've nearly died before. And this is back when I was an atheist. And while I was laying on that operation table, I could literally feel like my consciousness just slowly fade to black, while your whole body just slowly slows down. You can't hear, you can't see. Your breath just slowly slows down, and you want to keep on drawing breath, but your body is just shutting down slowly. It's a terrifying experience, and I think if some people would have these experiences, if a lot more people had these experiences, they would probably change. Maybe not all of them, but I think some of them would definitely relook their life, because I think there's a quote from the Bible that says, "The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom." And I think now, if people had more fear of God, then we would probably live in a much more better society, for sure. Because we obviously do not live in a moral society anymore. And yeah, it is partially our fault for kind of rejecting God, but it's also a lot of our parents' fault for, not being there. Most of our generations don't even have fathers anymore, so it's just kind of sad to know just how our society is just completely fallen into complete depravity. And this is something that's happened several times throughout human history, whether you look at Babylon, whether you look at Rome, whether you look at Sodom and Gomorrah. You look at any ancient society, and they all, what happens is usually populists take over. They want to remove the religion, and then sexual depravity takes over, and then society begins to crumble. And that's usually, not always, usually how nations crumble. And I think the United States is right at that point. I don't think that this country has, I don't think the world has that much more time.
Say sparkly ketchup.
I could go on into more of a bigger section. I just don't think our world has a lot of time left. And by mocking God, you're not setting yourself up for a very pleasant ending, because we all have a story, but it's like all the stories can be deleted in just a mere moment. I mean, I can remember going to see my friend at school one day, and then the next, he's gone. I go to school the next day, and my friends tell me that, yeah, dude, he died. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life wondering where he is now. And, you know, I hear like people say, oh, don't worry, man, God would never send anyone to hell. Well, I mean, why wouldn't he? Look how sick and evil human beings are. I mean, if you look at people like Pol Pot, Mao Zedong, Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler, or any other people like Jeffrey Epstein or Al Bundy. Just, why wouldn't he? I mean, if you were king of the entire universe, would you allow someone like Al Bundy or Jeffrey Epstein into the pearly gates of heaven? Would you allow a crack addict into your kingdom? Would you allow a X-rated video addict into your kingdom? Would you allow someone who completely hates you and wants nothing to do with you in your kingdom? Would you let someone who's a complete drunkard into your kingdom? Would you allow anyone into your kingdom? And that's one thing I really think about a lot, is that I don't think a lot of people are going to heaven. I think, you know, I've heard my dad say from one pastor that he heard from that maybe over 1 million. That's 1 million out of 8 billion people. I don't even think that much. I think it's more like 500, maybe 100 at that. I think, you know, humanity is just too far gone. I think we're sick. I think we're evil. I think we're all twisted. I mean, that is the truth. I mean, if you look out on the streets, if you look, you know, kids killing each other in schools, pedophiles selling children, just drugs everywhere, absolute, satanic churches rising up throughout the U.S. and the West as a whole. Other religions that want nothing to do with God, who hate God. I think people really need to understand that there is a wrath of God, and it is coming. If you pick up your Bible, you can read about some stories, especially the stories of Moses and Pharaoh, the plagues that he sent upon the land of Egypt, or the decimation of Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. Or even what's going to happen in the book of Revelation. Mocking God is not going to get anyone anywhere. And even for, people who say that they're atheists, who say that they believe in evolution, 90% of them don't even preach what they believe. Because most people that believe in evolution and whatnot are, they care nothing about, I guess you could say, evolution. They just only care about themselves. They only want their own pleasure until they die. Until the moment they die. I don't know. And it kind of gets me down sometimes that, kind of living in just, I don't know what to do. I'm sure it's hard for other individuals that are living in this era of time as well, so I'm not complaining. I'm not gonna be a little bitch and whine. Anyways, guys, my big video will be coming out, I don't know, another couple of months, and then I'm still working on the introduction for War for Paradise, which I'm hoping will be out by this summer. So, I'll see you then. Peace.